What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about OnyxCoin today, XCN USD. It is the 10th day of February, and here we are sitting at about half a cent with roughly 8 hours and 37 minutes left in the day. Hit that like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here, and let's get into it. All right, here we are. Finding support at prior areas of resistance, at prior areas of support, both times here. Finding support from a relative low to a relative high right there at your 886. That's all good and that's all dandy. But over the last day, well, I guess yesterday, we closed below the 786, and today we haven't really made any headway to get back above there. There's still a chance that, sure, we find support here and that we can move up from here. But at this point, I would think that we do pull back a little bit more, right? Again, this idea of these gaps being filled, it seems to be pretty reliable for the most part. And again, I have to be careful here because I don't want people to get the wrong ideas. Just because there's a gap there doesn't mean we have to go there. Just because there's a gap there doesn't mean we go down there exactly, we find support, and then we move up. We could go well below. We might go right here and find support above it. Not every gap fills, but for Coinbase on these 1 hour time frames, these gaps typically don't tell no lies. So we use that in congruence with other things, okay? In congruence with other things. We're picking up volume, which is weird. We're picking up volume, but we're just not going anywhere. That gives me a little bit of optimism, but that big volume spike was on a somewhat volatile candle, and I say big volume, it's not really that much volume. And maybe it's just a big old nothing burger, nothing to focus on. We are kind of grinding out this base with descending highs. Yeah, we could definitely come down. Absolutely, we could. 1 hour RSI to me looks bearish, right? It looks as if you're in this overall downward sloping trend, lower highs, lower lows, right? It's like this more or less a parallel channel to the downside. You just found resistance. I would think that we do go lower, probably into the oversold zone. Stochastics are weird, but they're going to be weird in this kind of choppy sideways action. The MACD is bearish overall. 4 hour time frame, if we look at this here, the RSI, I think it's a little bit more clear here that we are in fact going to go lower. You can see here you had this weird, sometimes you have these little trends where you still get like a blemish, but then you resume the trend once you come back to it. This seems more than just a blemish. This seems like you literally broke the trend and now you're starting something new. You're in a downward sloping 4 hour trend here. Overall somewhat neutral, but I mean overall bearish, right? Overall bearish. So it wouldn't be crazy at all to go a little bit lower. Nice little double bottom there, but I don't know, does it amount to anything? We have 34 minutes left. It doesn't look like it did. It looked like it amounted to a fake out is what it did. So yeah, lower, lower. MACD picking up momentum. I guess it's dying off in momentum, but you're building momentum. There's no bullish divergence or anything like that. Stochastics look bearish. Nothing bullish to go off of, so I'm going to assume we go lower, okay? And then, actually, I didn't even take this. Let's see. Hey, come here, buddy. Come here. It's my cat Mufasa. If you guys hear any weird noises, that's just him. He doesn't know how to meow like a normal cat. He knows how to like cackle. It's like a cackle meow. It's like that's how he does it. With a little bit of that meow twinge in there. Anyways, low to high. Low to high. Going over the dialect of a tabby cat today. It looks like we could go down at least to the golden ratio. If not, again, the 786, 886 area here definitely stands out. Remember, this low was an 886 bounce. I shouldn't say the low itself, but just this area. I mean, we closed, I guess, at the 886, but it was an 886 bounce. We could definitely show support at the 886, and then the 786 itself effectively would fill this gap. If we find support right at the 786, maybe we close at the 786, but we wick below it, whatever. We certainly could go lower, and it looks here like we're finding support at the 236 one day, then we're finding resistance at it the next day. We're finding support at the 382 one day, then we're finding resistance at the 382 the next day. We're finding support at the 0.5 one day, we're going to find resistance on it the next day and likely keep going down, right? We're being very slow bleed to the downside, and I think it's going to continue. I don't think that we have any reason to believe that it stops yet. I hope that I and you are pleasantly surprised at some point. Maybe we're in some type of weird inverse head and shoulders pattern that's slanted like this, and it's like a slanted inverse head and shoulders overall. We're about to break through the roof. That'd be great too. A big pump could happen at any moment in time. OnyxCoin has very low liquidity right now and very low volume overall. moments like this where the sellers are exhausted, where we've basically given sellers a plethora of opportunities to get out. Whenever it comes to moving up, we can move up very, very fast and with very little volume, right? I know that that looks like a lot of volume, but again, we zoom out here and we can see that that's actually very little volume. We can move up very fast. Just as big. This move was just as big as this move back here. And the volume difference is crazy, right? It's absolutely crazy. Anyways, I got nothing else to say. Hit that like button and subscribe. Thank you all for being here. My suspicion is that we go a little bit lower. I doubt that we go below this low, but even if we do, you know, there's still a chance that we could hold support down here, and that would be an overall double bottom. We're looking for some type of W shape, and that shape will really start to come alive once we break out of this downward sloping formation to the upside. That shape of a W will really come alive, because even if this is the low and we don't go below this low, that W shape is still pretty pronounced there, right? It's a weird W nonetheless, but having that shape is really all we have to go off of right now. If we take out this low, which I don't think is going to happen, but if we do take out this low, then perhaps we would go down to, I mean, we could, if we take this low out, you guys, then we would start to talk about 0.023 or lower as a possibility, and that's a pretty big difference from the current price, right? I think it's a good time to DCA into OnyxCoin, but just be aware of the situations at hand. Be aware that there are risks, and that you could, if the price goes down lower than expected, you could be holding this thing longer than maybe you were originally intended. But I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think that we're going to drop. I'm expecting and suspecting that the end of February actually might be bullish for Bitcoin and the rest of crypto. So I'm assuming that we will move up and likely break out of this downward sloping trend that we have here by the end of February. Hit that like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one. Okay, take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.